Hi, I'm Mike. Today, we once again tackle the project list and we take a look at what it does a majority of the heavy lifting here on the ranch. The tractor loader, the attachments, and how we maintain it on our Wyoming Life. We're back once again, standing in front of the big board that we call the project list. This list helps us keep track of a number of different things that need done around here. Just like we do every Tuesday, it's time to pick a project and run with it. You know what? I should build a big wheel and put all the project list stuff on it. Then every Tuesday we could spin it. Of course, I'd have to build a big wheel on the project list, but maybe someday. Thanks for coming out today. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, and if you're a repeat offender, thanks for coming back. As always, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see, and help spread the word. All right, so here's the plan. Today, we're gonna be concentrating on the loader on the 6420 tractor. We call that our feeding tractor, and it's the tractor that gets the most use here on the ranch. We use it every single day to feed the cows, the horses, the steers, and the heifers. Whoever needs a bale, this is the tractor that delivers it. And we also use it during haying, along with a couple other tractors that we have laying around here. When it comes to the feeding tractor, there are two working ends to it. The spooler on the rear end that we use to roll out bales for the cows to eat, and the loader on the front end. Not all tractors are created equal, and not all tractors have loaders, but I'm glad that this one does. A loader can be removable or permanently mounted. This one is removable, although we rarely take it off. The loader assembly can be used with a variety of different attachments, and most are pretty simple. A bucket that can be used to move many different materials, and a bucket can also be used as a light dozer or scraper, although you do have to be careful because the lift arms on the loader are not the strongest and have been known to fail. We also have forks that turn the tractor into a big old forklift, enabling us to move pallets of material around the ranch, and our normal everyday attachment, this time of year anyway, the bale spear, which we use to move and stack and feed hay bales. Each year the loader will handle many pounds. In fact, just over the winter feeding, it'll move and feed over 1 million pounds of just hay. All that work though does take a toll. We used the bucket loader just the other day after our snowstorm moving and clearing snow. While doing so, I actually broke a hydraulic line, and today we're going to repair that as well as some maintenance to the loader itself. To get started, let's survey the damage. As you can see, the T-fitting that directs the hydraulic fluid to the gravel portion of the bucket has broken. It's an easy fix, but first, let's get it moved into the shop. After dropping the spear that we use to feed every day, we can hook up the bucket. There are days that this goes smoother than others, but eventually we have tab A aligned with slot B, and off we go. Replacing a hydraulic hose is not that hard, although there are a few things that can cause problems, and the number one thing is dirt and grime. Not allowing any dirt into your hydraulic system should be priority number one. Any dirt that does get in there is going to clog your filters, shortening their life. And if it happens to make it past the filters, it's definitely going to cause problems with your hydraulic pump. So the first thing that we want to do is clean up any loose dirt. Then we can remove the old hose. First taking off the blocks that hold the hose in place, and then removing the end of the hose from the hydraulic cylinder. The connector on the end is snapped off, so a new hose will be required, which I think I have. But as we survey the damage area, I can actually see what might have caused the problem. The expanded metal that protects the hose has done its job to a point, but it has bent in a little. A little pounding should get it back in place. Let's head over to the sales barn where we have some extra hydraulic hose and see what we need. And back at the loader, it's just a matter of replacing the hose the same way we took it off, replacing the holding blocks, and then it's time to test it out. With the bucket back up and running, ready to do more work, we can take the tractor back to the shop and continue some preventative maintenance on the loader itself. Each loader has many different moving parts. Each part is pinned, and in order to protect those pins and extend their life, each has a grease point or a zerk fitting. These fittings allow us to basically inject grease to the inside of the pin and lubricate any movement. A few years ago, I got a Lincoln electric grease gun for Christmas, or my birthday, maybe it was Father's Day. But I have to say this thing is one of my favorite tools to use. Normally, you'd have to pump grease in, which is a great way to do it and works well when you don't have a charged battery. But today I'm lucky and we can get to greasing. Just like the hydraulic system, the cleaner we can keep the inside of these pins and bushings as they move, the longer they're going to last. So I'm always sure to clean off each and every zerk fitting before injecting any grease. Any dirt on the zerk could be pushed inside the bushing if not cleaned, and that grit will be wearing inside there and it will eventually cause problems. Sometimes the zerk fittings can be hard to find, but I usually just try to remember how many there are on each side and keep count. If I know there are 10 and I only greased 9, then I know I missed one and I can go back and look for it. And sometimes you have to lift up the loader to find them. Cleaning and greasing, greasing and cleaning. This little job will pay for itself in the end. Maintenance is part of the ranch. The more you can do yourself, the better off you are. And there are enough things that you're going to have to send off or call a mechanic in to fix. And each and every skill that you have in your toolbox is going to help. Over the years, I went from somebody who might not even have attempted to change his own tire to somebody who looks forward to getting dirty, even if it's just for the reaction from Erin when I come in the house smelling like hydraulic fluid and grease. I guess you've got to keep them on their toes. Thanks for coming along today. Wintertime is a great time to get some of these shop projects done, and you can expect a lot more as we keep moving through the project list, even without a big old wheel. If you have any questions or you'd like to share your expertise on a subject involving tractors, animals, or agriculture in general, I'd like to invite you once again to head on over to Facebook and join the group All Things Agriculture, where you can get advice and talk to people who are in the know. That group is growing fast, and it's helped many people answer questions about getting started in farming or ranching, or just get advice on projects. Trust me, helping others is definitely its own reward. And I hope that you can head over and share your knowledge. That's it for the project list for today. There's plenty more to do, and we'll get back to it soon. Until then, have a great week, and thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life. Hi, I'm Mike. Today we once again tackle the project list, and we take a look at what has burped.